I played high school football. 4 touchdowns in 1 game. Yet I'm not exempt from state and federal taxes. Now, is this any way America should treat its heroes? Well, you just flashed that badge as some registered voter, buddy. We're Bundys. We hate cops.
Paul has an opportunity. He has the same opportunity that Ed had last week. But there's levels to fantasy. That's all Ed had, was an opportunity. Ed just had a chance to stop Andy from becoming the second team to win 2 consecutive championships, just because he was just eliminating Andy. Obviously, this is now round 2. That's all he had, was an opportunity. If he would have won, it would have been him against Paul, and Ed's a fantasy hopeful. Paul has the opportunity to take that away from Andy, but he has his own path as well. He has his own pattern, I should say. Some of us have patterns of failure. Currently, Team Bundy's experiencing a pattern of failure. Others have a pattern of victory at the moment. Which is not to say that next year, Joe can't start his own pattern to victory. Paul has his own pattern to victory here because he has made it to the last 2 fantasy championships and he has failed. I've told you that I anticipated that Paul would have a very good fantasy season. A damn good one. Because that's what he's put together over the past 4 to 5 years. But it doesn't mean anything if those championships don't materialize. Their history since 2012 is 13 regular season games. Andy taking those games 7, 5, and 1. Of course, there's a tie. It's Andy. Their playoff history is also led by Andy 3 games to 1. Now, in 2013, they met each other in the very first round, Andy winning that 93-76. 2014, second round, Andy winning it 101-69. In 2016, we had our very first Cop Bowl, Paul taking that one, and Andy returning the favor just last year in the Cop Bowl 2. Patterns, levels. You have an opportunity, but you have your own pattern as well. Andy, last week, started Jared McKinnon, and he got lucky. I only say he got lucky because Andy just threw in Jared McKinnon because it was a now move to make. I don't look at moves like that as you being savvy. You just got lucky. It's the serendipity of fantasy. It went in your favor. He, I believe, got a couple. What did he get just a couple weeks ago? Just a week before that, he got 25 fantasy points off of 6 rushes, 22 yards, but he got 102 passing yards. So Andy got off with that one, and of course, he does his regular taking his players out of the slots. But I will say that I am satisfied because I took Kirk Cousins away from Andy. He is not an option, so he is forced to start Jared Goff. Good luck with that, my friend. Good luck with starting Jared Goff. He scored 24, 25 points a couple weeks ago. You did it. He is projected to get 15 this week. If Joe Burrow delivers a Joe Burrow performance, this is going to be very difficult for Andy. Very difficult because Miles Sanders he exploded against us the last week of the season. I'm pretty sure Andy will start Miles Sanders. Though I'm not going to say pretty sure because I said he wasn't going to start Jared McKinnon, and he started Jared McKinnon. I'm assuming he will start TJ Hawkinson, who has a matchup up against the New York Giants. Keenan Allen on Monday night doesn't have a great matchup. Of course, Nick Chubb and Devontae Adams should eat today at 8:15 p.m. versus the Steelers. I'm looking forward to that matchup. What's also at stake here is the end of a dynasty. The end of the relationship between Paul and Mike Evans. Mike Evans has dragged Paul's team down for over a month now. Let's take it back to week 5. Now, week 4, I believe, was his 22-point performance. This is when he beat Team Bundy. Week 5, after that, it's like Orlando's intro was a curse for Mike Evans, because week 5, 8 points, 4 points, 9 points, 12 points, 4 points, 5 points, bye, 3, 5, 4, 8 points just last week. He's not injured. This is just what's happening with him and Brady. I'm not sure. He's not getting the separation that he was always able to get. I'm not sure if he's aging, but today could be the last, well, tomorrow could be the very last game where Mike Evans labors, where he slaves for Paul. This could be the end of a dynasty, and it should be the end of a dynasty, unless, of course, Mike Evans is traded to another team. Travis Kelce is a player that I would be very terrified of, not just because he's Travis Kelce, but the same thing that I said about Mark Andrews that didn't happen for Eric last week. I say the same for Travis Kelce, who just over the last month hasn't scored more than 11 points. At least he got 105 yards last week, but I would be very terrified if I were Andy at 1 o'clock today with Travis Kelce. Stephon Diggs, Isaiah Pacheco. I like Paul's chances to get the victory today. Now, I don't think that Paul's team is the strongest it's ever been. In my opinion, Paul's strongest team was in 2020 when he lost to Eric. Both of those teams were extremely strong. And just for a little fantasy trivia here, number 1 seeds tend to make it to the championship round. In 2017, Team Bundy was the very first, I want to make this clear because we are digging into the papers. In 2017, Team Bundy was the very first number 1 seed to win a championship. The year after that, Orlando became the second to win the championship. The year after that, Andy became the third team to win a fantasy championship while being the number 1 seed. But then the Black Cat fucked that whole streak up when he lost to J-Ray in the second round in about, 2019? I'm not sure. Paul has carried the burden of the number 1 seed, but he stands the risk of being the overachieving fantasy team with nothing to show for it. This is a necessary victory for Paul today. If the pressure was on anyone, it is definitely on Paul. Andy is the champion, of course. Andy is the champion of this league. I don't know how this happened. I don't know why this is happening. I don't know why we are existing in a world where Andy has been the number 1 team over the past 3 years. I have no clue, but that's what's happening at the moment. Paul has the opportunity to stop that. So I am predicting that Rollo Tomasi will come up with the victory today. And why? Because I expect his number 1s to perform like number 1s. I expect Joe Burrow to outdo Jared Goff, but it doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to go out that way. You don't have to have 30 points on one side and 14 on the other, because Nick Chubb isn't exactly performing the way Nick Chubb was earlier in the season. And he also keeps playing around with Devin Singletary, who doesn't do shit. Is he going to put him in the lineup? As I said, there's Keenan Allen on a Monday night. Now, is Andy going to play him on a Monday night? Andy has... his matchups aren't as strong as... But he has a strong matchup here with James Cook. Is James Cook going to be this week's Jared McKinnon? Or is Jerick McKinnon just going to be Jerick McKinnon again? Because he's going up against the 31 ranked defense against running backs. Will Andy do that again? Look, if Andy does it, all credit to Andy. And I will come next week for the preview of the championship round, and Andy will get his leaves. He will not get flowers from me. I don't give out flowers. I only give out leaves. Okay? Andy will get that from me. But he's got to do it. Rollo Tomasi will face La Bamba in next week's Fantasy Championship.